I think all of us Star Wars fans constantly yearn for good games that truly encapsulate the greatness of the franchise we enjoy so much. And I think Jedi Fallen Order definitely did that in abundance. And so when the kind of inevitable sequel was announced, I and many others were absolutely pumped to once again delve into the fantastic imagining of Star Wars that Respawn Entertainment had materialized. And this was one of the games this year that I wanted to play straight away on day one. It wasn't until I booted up the game that I realized that this absolutely incredible game was severely bogged down by its shocking performance, glitches and bugs, of which hinder the game's true greatness and is the core reason I can't recommend you buy this game just yet. I'll preface this section by stating what platform I'm playing on, which is kind of obvious from what I've been saying, but I've been playing this on PC. I was initially going to purchase the game on PS5, which I really wish I did because the performance here is actually unacceptable in all aspects. I guess to be a little fair, my machine is pretty old. I've got a GTX 1080 Ti, which once upon a time did run games at ultra settings, but that time has completely gone by, and this game kind of made me realize an upgrade later this year should happen. But besides that, this card has been able to play Cyberpunk on launch day with pretty decent performance to the point I enjoyed the game completely, and was able to see the gem behind all of the dirt that was the bugs and performance issues, as well as this other infamously unoptimized games like Elden Ring at launch and Gotham Knights ran quite well on here, and high settings at 1080p would always boast a pretty solid 60 frames per second. But here on Jedi Survivor, my card has been put through the absolute ringer, from cutscenes that run at 15 frames per second to walking around interiors that run at the pace of a stop motion film. This game's performance has shocked me like no other game before it. I've seen people with top end cards such as the 4070 Ti I plan to upgrade to later this year also having the same issues I have, prompting the ridiculous inability of EA to optimize their games before launch. There are so many bugs, glitches and performance issues all over this game, but I guess I should say once I left the first section of the game, performance was a lot better, albeit on lower settings. I think we can talk about the gameplay now though, which unlike the optimization of the game is absolutely stellar. I already heavily enjoyed my time with Jedi Fallen Order's combat and traversal mechanics almost 4 years ago now, and even if they just completely rehashed what was in that game, I'd have absolutely no problem. Instead, Respawn helps diversify the combat with a few different stances in the combat, skill trees clearly outlined, and exploration that is in all of its components, an absolute blast. The combat here is truly the best of any Star Wars game, and I think this game has won the shining medal of being the peak of truly immersing the player into the Star Wars universe. And just like how many other games put you into the lens of an existing prototype such as Batman and Spider-Man within their respective games, this game truly, in an unironic fashion, makes you feel like a Jedi. The diversity in combat is to be expected, but it's the grandeur and the beauty of it all that truly makes the combat satisfying in all aspects. I don't want to spoil anything about it, but just know that you're going to have an absolute blast with it, especially if you enjoyed Fallen Order's combat as well. I also want to touch upon the traversal and general exploration within this game, and I won't show much in order to not spoil anything that may make your discovery of such mechanics not as good. I'm not usually one for exploration. I don't typically have the time, and with a huge backlog it's kind of demotivating to explore a world, even if I really do enjoy it. But here I kind of feel it obligatory to explore the grandeur of the Star Wars universe and its planets, and not doing so would somehow take away from the experience. It definitely doesn't, but the amount it adds to that experience is one so exponential that I find myself thinking that the exploration might be one of my favorite parts of the entire game thus far. Let's also quickly talk about the story of the game, which I can't say too much because I don't want to spoil anything about the game as it may ruin the experience you have with the story presented here. The story here is absolutely amazing. The characters we knew from the first game all characterized perfectly with how they were left off, and the way the characters are written is up to the superb level of the previous game, and probably even more so in my personal opinion. So although the game may have absolutely stellar combat and traversal mechanics as well as a great story, I'm going to still be hindered from being able to just recommend it to you in its current state. It's so shocking on all platforms, especially PC, that I can't recommend you indulge yourself in the world of Jedi Survivor until the subsequent patches fix this game's performance to a level that is actually acceptable and worth playing. If you must play it though and have a decent graphics card, you can buy EA Play Pro for 1 month for about $15 and play through the whole game through there there before cancelling your subscription, but as full price purchases go, I don't recommend you buy it just yet, despite the greatness of its gameplay and the stellar story it serves you. I know we were all so excited for this game, but I'm afraid that in its current state, Jedi Survivor just isn't worth buying yet on any platform, especially the PC platform, with its constant dips in performance, glitches, and bugs that truly hinder how fun the game beneath it all truly is. Wait a few more months for the constant issues that the majority of the fanbase are enduring through to finally be ironed out, and I know that you're going to have an absolutely great time with the game, and I truly think Respawn has outdone themselves, and this game is worth a buy once they fix all the issues with the game currently. Anyway, that's all from me for today's video. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.